When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you're in the championship rounds with King Amid of Essex. So let's get to it. Not much to recap, but I do want to add I guess, an addendum to the fallout from the bantamweight division. Miyo Yoshida is intending to move forward with some sort of petition of the decision. Best I can make of it is she's been advised to do this, both by her ego and also maybe by management or somehow. I think the smart play to do is, don't respectfully don't pull a Devin Haney and make it too litigious. Get back in the ring. I'm sure if the price is right, this will make a great trilogy fight. Makes sense. Makes sense to do it that way. Um, because we know rematches, trilogies, right? I don't, count nobody's pockets on the rematch, but this fight had to be made. And if people need to see it, I'm sure there's money in it. Speaking of money, Katie Taylor, $6 million from Netflix, right? Or from however you want to phrase it. She's making $6 million for her fight with Amanda Serrano, and Amanda Serrano purported to make much more than that. So, um, interesting turn of events in women's boxing. You see the pay scale seemingly to go through the roof for these two ladies. Let's hope that this trickles down. And again, if the fight is big enough controversy, you can market it correctly. Why not do it again under different auspices? Maybe instead of a pro box DeBella situation, maybe a larger entity can get hold of this one, right? Give it a little bit more shine, a little bit more visibility, give it the attention we think it deserves. All right. Speaking of deserves, go check out Seniesa Estrada's exclusive interview with Top Rank, ESPN, well, ESPN. Um, I saw the interview. I didn't watch the entire thing because coincidentally, I had a conversation, if you will, with Estrada, and I could understand certainly all of her sentiments behind retiring, and I expressed as much to her as sometimes fans and pundits, journalists, whatever you want to call us, people that speak on boxing, we don't have to know the details, because it's not your obligation as a fighter, as a person to disclose to us. But you do have to understand these moments are needed because we're just calling out, just for the passion of the sport. People that were calling out for the Valle Estrada rematch, they had no idea Estrada was under this level of duress, So, but salute to her for being able to speak out and describe her experience so that way many people, young fighters, and just people in general in society can understand the pressure that coincides with different levels of success. So I wish her much success moving forward. Um, Brings me to a nice recap because it's part of the reason why this episode was delayed. I had to watch Yokasta Valle regain the WBC strawweight division title last night. It was a good fight for her. It was a rematch of an opponent she fought in 2021. What's her name? Elizabeth Corizo. Shorty was just loading up the right hand. She had to be a super bantamweight, 122 pounds or more by the time she got to the ring. Valle's opponent, that is. But Valle was a hell of a matador, handled the pressure well, was able to slip and roll some of those punches. Some of them landed well, but Valle took them well. She took it well. She took the power very well. And she just has such an entertaining style, always throwing combinations. And when she sits on the left hook or the straight right, um, she can move some things around. Very, very exciting fighter to watch. And so this is belt one on her Thanos-like mission to become undisputed at 105, something that she did not get a chance to achieve because she was foiled by the great and now retired Seniesa Estrada. So it's funny how the universe works. Speaking how the universe works, let's talk about Layla Boudouin. I'm not sure how it's going to work for her at 130. 130 top heavy. You got the undisputed champion, Alicia Baumgartner, and you pretty much got everybody else. Um, One of those everybody else is who I'm a big fan of. Had a chance to speak with her. Peggy Whitmore out of Ohio. And in a top heavy division, you kind of don't need to go through the ground round. Why am I saying this? Because Layla Boudouin is going through the ground round. At this point, if she's not ready for Bumgarner, there's really no point to compete in this division. She was scheduled to fight Edith Matisse. Matisse is, I believe, the silver WBC champ. Um, Bedouin's fighting for a WBC international title, but ultimately, I think, all roads lead to Bumgarner and these kind of fights in between, unless you're missing something tactically or, they're not sure if you're ready, which is why I'm saying Baudouin needs to jump out the window and fight a Whitmore. Whitmore's team can, and I know it doesn't seem like an attractive fight, but Whitmore has a very good win over Mia Ellis out of Baltimore. So I don't know, man. Um, 130's got to shake. 130's got to shake. 130 has to shake. And speaking of a fight that could shake 130 in a very roundabout way, you have Beatrice Ferreira, who is, of course, the 135-pound IBF champion. She'll be back in action in December versus Licia. I ain't gonna fuck up her name. Shorty from France. Her record is paper mache, if you will. Yeah, but so then the question becomes, well, that's because Dubois has been ducking Fred. And no, Dubois has been tactical about what her moves may be. And I'll bring it back to Alicia Bumgarner in 130 in 1 second. Just tranquilo. Dubois is positioning herself to fight Katie Taylor should Katie Taylor decide she wants to come back down to 135, or Dubois is set to become full WBC champion at 135, which could attract the likes of Alicia Bumgarner. Okay. Um, the other side of that, if Bumgarner somehow is in the mood to fight a puncher, instead of a, boxer like herself, then Bumgarner could decide very well that she could take the Freire fight, and then work her way towards um, the Dubois fight. Could you imagine that? Just so, you know, 130, 135, something's going to shake between those two divisions. And right, you would expect Dubois to make a prudent business decision instead of jumping out there. We know we all like unifications and things like that, but I think it's more prudent to see what happens with Katie Taylor, because ultimately, if Taylor does not decide to vacate, then Dubois gets a domestic matchup with a legend. Like, come on, what are you serious? So respect to Freire, that's up to Freire to build up her name, and perhaps Bumgarner and Freire can use each other to work towards a Dubois matchup. Maybe Dubois holding the most cachet between the three ladies, despite Bumgarner's titles. But things that have to be worked out, we'll see how they turn out. Um, the rest of the news is kind of light. We know Clarissa Shields is out there getting ready. She called out a couple people, Bumgarner included. We'll see what happens. Again, what's left for Clarissa Shields? All right. I guess it's 154. So we'll see when she gets there, what she does. Let's move on into the fight week action. I think this bout, I've been calling for it for so long, and I got some trepidation regarding my decision because I got to go with my tactics instead of my heart. What I'm talking about is the undisputed bout between Gabriela Sweet Poison Fundora and Gabriela Celeste LaChucky Alanes. Alanes is the unified champ. She's got the WBA, WBC, WBO, and the ring, which she got from, I forgot who the hell Shorty was. And again, she was holding up the division. She was barely making weight. Marlene Esparza. Marlene Esparza. Yeah, Marlene Esparza. Ooh. Yeah. So, but a great champion, you know what I'm saying? But we realized once the mother girls, and she was ducking the shit out of Fundora. Forget about it. No slander. Um, this bout for undisputed, Fundora has the opportunity to become the youngest undisputed champion in the history of boxing, man or woman. So that's great. And when I said about just using my boxing mind, I'm biased. Fundora and I share two things: southpaw, tall, using your range, long arms. I get it, and it's very difficult for me to see how Alana is mounting offense, but she is fast. She's got good footwork. As best as she can, slip the jab, obviously footwork, but get to Fundora's body. Get to the body first, get to the body first, slip the jab, get to the body, then come up top, and kind of vary that, but Fundora's going to be coming back with power because she does have that. So if Fundora could get drawn into a brawl early, maybe Alanis can see how, Fundora's power may fade in the long run. But we'll see how Alanis is gonna have to hold up against, those straight lefts. And Gabby can uppercut too. She's not really much of a right hooker. But yeah, gonna be a good fight. Gonna be a good fight, and I can't wait to see it. Also, can't wait to see, and this one will actually precede the undisputed bout. That's a Golden Boy. It's on the undercard of Schofield and whomever. I'm paying attention, but I'm not because I'm here with y'all talking about these women, and I'm talking about Chantelle Cameron. She will be defending. I just mentioned a lot of politics or specifics rather around a WBC interim. And again, another situation where it involves Katie Taylor in a WBC interim because Chantelle Cameron is the WBC interim champion, waiting for the other shoe to drop because will Taylor win or will Serrano win? And whoever wins, will they vacate it or will they give Cameron a rightful opportunity? I've been hearing some rumblings. Is Cameron, in the mix for one of those super fights? With a Natasha Jonas, moving up to 147 to face Natasha Jonas, right? Could we see that happening? Listen, yeah, she was definitely the boss, El Capo at 140. But yeah, maybe it's time to move up. Definitely some options at 147 for her. Or Mikaela Mayer, Chantelle Cameron. Heard rumblings about that as well. But uh if those things don't pan out moving up, she certainly secures a title shot or gets to become the full WBC champion at 140 again. So she'll be a two-time champion. Um, got a pretty solid opponent and Patricia Bergelt. Um, yeah, so this is going to be a good fight. That's on the undercard of the Liam Davies fight. So not much else going on in the world of women's boxing, but great weekend nonetheless. Daylight savings all over the United States, beginning tomorrow. Lots of birthdays this week. My beautiful daughter included, Chiccn Shurretta Metcalf included. Um, and today, happy birthday to my little button nose baby, Terry Harper. Happy birthday to you. Listen, man, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Um, Share it, drop a like, yada yada yada, and definitely tune in to today's action. So yeah, folks, enjoy and thank you for joining me.